a heavy-set, grey-haired, middle-aged man with piercing eyes and an unmistakable air of command. He frowned as he took in the scene. "One of the men can do that, Katyani," he said, a note of reproof in his deep voice. He'd known her for years, taught her what she knew of sword fighting, and he still never got used to seeing her manhandle male offenders. His attitude irked her, but she wasn't going to argue with him in front of the others. "Yes, sir." She withdrew a kukri knife from one boot and a push knife from the other and handed it to Falgun, a junior guard. "Have these examined. Be careful. The edges might be poisoned." As they'd learned to their detriment from the first assassination attempt 6 months ago. The guard who'd handled those weapons had been sick for weeks. Falgun bowed and took the knives with a gloved hand. Tanuj squatted beside the comatose man. "Have you identified him?" "We'll soon see." She began to peel the mask away from his face. A smell of burning flesh seeped into her nostrils, and she snatched away her fingers. "Damn!" His face was melting before her eyes. She tried to smooth the mask back into place using the hilt of her dagger, but it was too late. She coughed and scooted back, her gut clenching. Tanuj backed away as well, his lips pinched, his eyes hard. The third time in 6 months an assassin had died before he could be questioned. The king and queen would not be happy. "What happened?" sputtered a guard from a safe distance behind her, holding his nose. She sighed and got to her feet, tasting the bitterness of defeat in her mouth. "He's dead." "But we haven't interrogated him yet," said Falgun, sounding outraged. Tanuj rose, rubbing his chin as he contemplated the body on the floor, the face a ruin of melted flesh and bits of burned cloth. "The mask was poisoned," he grated. Only his handler could have removed it safely. A clever way of ensuring his silence. "What are we to do now?" asked another guard, his hand on his sword, as if a sword would solve this mess. "Try to find out who he is," said Tanuj. "Take all precautions when removing his clothes and examining his weapons. Wash your hands afterward. I don't want anyone dying of carelessness." He levelled a finger at Katyani. "You, report to the king and queen." Her shoulders slumped. "Yes, sir." That was her job as his second in command, especially when there was nothing good to report. It was not a task she was looking forward to. The queen would be disappointed in her failure, and she hated disappointing the queen. She turned away as the guards rolled the corpse onto a sheet. The royal couple were sleeping in the west wing of the palace tonight. She'd made them and Crown Prince Iron change rooms every night since her network of spies had gotten wind of yet another assassination attempt. And she'd made sure the room they actually slept in was different from the one ostensibly planned by the palace staff. The assassin might get wind of the room switching, but he couldn't read her mind. That strategy had paid off tonight. Partially paid off. As she walked down the marble corridor, she replayed the events of the last hour in her head, wishing she had not been so eager to pull off the assailant's mask. She'd been promoted over the heads of older, more experienced men in Garuda. No one grudged her this. They all knew the special relationship she had with the queen. Still, prove yourself, said their eyes. Prove you're worthy of your post. Every moment of every day since her promotion, she'd been judged on her abilities, her successes, her failures. Her record so far? 6 months, 3 assassination attempts, and 0 leads. Queen Himlata would not be pleased with her latest blunder. She would certainly not consider Katyani's request to get out of accompanying the princes as their bodyguard to that remote school run by, what was his name? Acharya Mahavir. Katyani didn't want to leave the palace. She wanted to stay right here and